Hey, y'all. Hey, what is going on? Hey. How are y'all doing today? Y'all, what's going on? What is going on? I figure this light is like, it's doing too much. Let me see. It's gonna have to work. It's gonna have to work. Happy Sunday, y'all. How's everybody day going? I hope y'all resting. I hope y'all made some good food. I hope it's a day of peace, okay? Peace and serenity, okay? And mess, because we're gonna get into some mess. Y'all, so y'all know I don't review Love and Marriage Huntsville at all. Okay, I tried to watch season one, and then I watched like two episodes, and then I turned it off. Okay, but for some reason, this show has been like trying to pull me in every chance that it get. Okay, y'all, my subscribers that's been my subscribers for a long time been saying, Chloe, do Love and Marriage Huntsville, do Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now listen, I'm not promising y'all Chloe gonna do Love and Marriage Huntsville because y'all Love is Marriage Huntsville stands. Okay, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. Y'all be ready to go fight, steal people businesses and all types of stuff. Y'all a different type of crazy. Child, why I go on the internet yesterday and I hear about, you know, a fan supposedly stealing Arionne's business and going to get the copyrights and everything to all her stuff and this, that, and the other, and then was trying to make her pay for it to get it back, child. I heard a little bit of the interview. I didn't watch the whole thing. I heard maybe about 3 minutes. I'm not even gonna lie to you. About 3 minutes of it, and it was like, I just figured she's a bird brain and she's not too smart. So I just know she didn't get all her affairs in order. So I went up there to go get my to see, if she did. And so I decided to buy it because she definitely didn't have it. And I'm like, 3 hours later, it's a lie. She bought the wrong LLC. I said, child, not you trying to be not you trying to be swift. Okay, gotta be quicker than that and stealing somebody's business and you done bought somebody else's business. How that work? Oh my God. I'm just sitting here like, listen, let me tell y'all something. Y'all can't be out here trying to do God's work. Don't be out here trying to do God's work because God don't look. If He will send you to do His work, you won't know that you're doing it. Remember, karma is an energy, it's a universe. Okay, so let me tell y'all something. When you doing God's work, you sometimes don't know that you are the karma. When you intentionally go try to be the karma, that's when things get a little sticky, icky. Okay. So I was like, I don't know if I need to be touching the waters when it comes to this Love and Marriage Huntsville, baby, because they out here and wailing. Okay. And I'm like, why would you go buy somebody's business, something that they trying to work on and build and whatever the case may be? I mean, she may be somebody's side chick or whatever the case may be, but at the same time, why you gonna try to take her? Is you gonna run the business? What are you trying to do? Is she even making profit off this business? I don't know. I'm sure the side chicks across the world was like, buying some of that clothes or whatever. Girl, I don't know nothing about the Arionne, and I ain't go through her life story trying to figure it out. But I just think that it's just so funny that someone will really go do that because I'm just like, why would you do that? Like, you could not like somebody, that's fine, but like to go to that extreme, to be so invested in someone who actually did nothing to you, I find that a little weird, a little weird. Okay, either you support them or you don't, and you just kill on and move on. Okay, Huntsville is beyond messy at this point, right, Tracy? So I'm calling y'all. I'm calling on y'all to help me, to fill me in on what I have been missing over there on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay. First of all, I do want to say this. So now y'all know I'm a little bit invested. When I get a little bit invested in some stuff, I be like, lurking. Okay. When I start lurking, I really be lurking. Okay. So I started following Arionne on Instagram because I'm like, oh, if she's going to be up here acting a fool, baby, I want to catch it. Right. So I went up there and she went live for like 5 seconds yesterday. Okay. Now, first thing happened, I said she probably about to try to, say like that girl did not buy my business, blah, 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 blah. That's what you get. Try to be funny. But the poor baby is up there just coughing and cackling and coughing. I'm like, take that baby to the ER, emergency care, somewhere. Then you sitting up on live trying to talk to the people. Okay. But then she tried to cover his mouth and he clocked the crap out of her, like boom, boom. I mean, it was really aggressive. And I was like, ooh, even he don't like her. Why he started beating up his mama like that? Like, I don't understand what's going on with her. Okay, so I feel like whatever's happening with that girl is gonna happen to that girl. Okay, y'all don't have to go out and buy her businesses. Y'all don't have to do none of that. If she not sleeping with your man personally leave that girl alone. Okay, I mean, go ahead and talk your ish, drag her, do whatever you want, leave your comments, whatever you want to do is perfectly fine. But don't go up there trying to take people businesses and then it backfire on you, pow, 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 and now you done bought a business you don't even know what to do with. That's the thing that gets me. How you buy business now? You don't even know what to do with. So you threatening somebody to buy back their business and you ain't even got it. Child, now y'all to give this girl some ammunition to go up there on her Instagram and be ready to go off and tell people how dumb and stupid they are because y'all want to be out here trying to play God. God did not give you the karma to play. Okay, so word to the wise. Okay, when God uses you to be somebody's karma, you won't know that that's your job. It just will happen like that. Okay. Honestly, this is how her lives mostly go. That long live last week is not is not normal for her. Also, that's why the streets was like on it, and it was like really, really a big thing because it's not something she normally does. So it's very out of character for her. So she's spiraling. Okay, and honestly, I feel like she was trying to talk to. I felt like she thought Gigi was Mel for a second. I'm like, girl, you, because she like, how about you tell your man to be accountable? And I'm sitting here like, she do know that Martell not her man, right? She do know that that's not what's happening, right? I'm like, these people are weird, okay? But I said what I said, and I'm sticking beside it. Okay, you guys, you cannot go ahead and cheat with a married man. I mean, you can't be manipulated by a married man. Okay, if he is married and he wears his ring and he lives with his wife and he has his kids, everything that he's telling you, you need to automatically assume it is a lie unless he proves anything different. Okay, and then also, if you trying to go steal a married man, remember how you get him is how you keep him. So if you can go take him from his wife, I'm sure somebody could come take him from you. Okay, just remember that. Just a little word of advice to all the women that think that it's cute to be out here, taking people's men. How you get them is how you keep them. Okay, I ain't never really met nobody who got with a married man or somebody who was with somebody who actually still with that person now. I never met that person at all. Okay, she sits on live. Arionne just realized that Martell doesn't want her for real if he doesn't have his family. For real, if he doesn't have his family. And she realized that Melody was sponsoring her lifestyle, not Martell. Martell was trying to have a wife. Okay, so that's what happened. So y'all gonna have to fill me in. That's why we're here. I want y'all to catch me up on some stuff, okay? She sits on live, doesn't really talk much, and the baby knocks her around. She answers a few questions that block people. Oh, okay, she's a blocker. Okay, I'm here for the blockers. All the cheated on wives see Arionne as their husband side chick, and Arionne sees all the wives as Melanie. Very weird. Okay, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say no, but sometimes when you see certain people behave a certain way, it triggers something in you because you automatically go to this what if space or if I was space, right? So it's kind of like if you was my mistress, if you was my husband's mistress, this is how I'm gonna give it up to you, right? And if I was the mistress, this is how I'm gonna give it up to you because y'all know y'all gotta use the word mistress for her, because that makes her feel better, okay? Because Tasha K tried to tell her, you not no side chick, you a mistress, child. It's crazy. It's crazy. Side chick, mistress, whatever you want to call it, you ain't a wife. Okay. But yeah, so I think a lot of us do sometimes take a little bit of things a little personal only because it triggers us. And when things trigger us, it's hard for us not to, imagine if it was us. You know what I mean? Hey, also, I don't watch these folks either. I just seen a live of her live, so I'm here to fill you. I'm here for the filling too. Thank you. Right? Also, we trying to get filled in because y'all keep saying it's messy, it's messy, it's messy, and I'm like, okay, I'm tired of the girls arguing, the back and forth, like the basic setup of how reality TV works, okay? But I feel like this was supposed to be something totally different that turned into something something else, okay? I hear that it's a lot of infidelity and y'all really choosing sides. There's people who is team Melanie and team what's these people named? Keisha? Is that lady name? That's not that lady name. Her name not Keisha. What is it? Tisha? No, Tisha's from the Bell Collective. So what's the girl? Child, y'all gonna have me up here and talk about stuff I have no clue about. But this is why I want y'all to join me, okay? Girl, I'm out for a few channels, so I have all the tea. Thank you, Tracy. Hopefully you don't mind coming up and telling me some of the tea, because I am going to drop the link. And I really want to know what stood out to you guys a lot about the season. I want to know what you guys think of the couples individually, people like the different castmates, Miss Wanda, because child, I don't watch the live with Miss Wanda on Scotty by Nation's channel, and I was like, woo, child, she's a handful. She's definitely a handful. And I saw that they were trying to get her kicked off the show. It was a whole lot of stuff. I feel like everything outside of the show kind of takes over whatever's happening in the show, or is it really like playing out like that on the show too? Because I did see that they had got into a fight in a parking lot, and I was like, I need to get over here and figure out what's going on with the Love and Marriage Huntsville, baby, because I feel like as a content creator, I need to be able to create the content for my subscribers, especially if y'all is over here watching this mess, okay? So if y'all watching it, I'm here to be with you, okay? Tisha's flowers in the attic and her husband Marcel are on Huntsville. Okay, so it is a Tisha. Why do females feel like it's okay to call another woman closer? I mean, I don't call her that, but I feel like, Brittany, I think like we just was saying, I think what happens is that for one, I want to say that could be part of her karma. Okay, you know how we talked about this thing where you can't play God, you can't play God, but God will use people to be your karma. I think in this instance, because she did, deal with a married man, it's like adultery for 7 years. Somehow the karma has come back to her, and this just may be a form of it. Not someone going out intentionally trying to buy up somebody's business and buying the wrong business. That's not how karma works. You can't play God. So I think that this is just how the universe works. You know how whenever you put out energy, you get that energy back. Okay, so it may not be in a form that we may think it is, but eventually it's going to come back to her. And I think personally, part of that karma is being called coleslaw, because that's what she was, a side chick, a side piece, a side meal, a side snack. So people, the universe has a way of playing games with you. You know what I mean? So I really think that's part of it. And when the time comes and when she accepts her wrongs and she admits her faults and there's no buts behind what she did and apologize to that man's ex-wife, then maybe it will subside and everything will calm down and it won't be, so heavy on her. Sometimes all we have to do is ask for forgiveness, just like in, with God or even in our relationships. Whenever we do wrong to someone, you're supposed to apologize, so that you can move forward. The same thing with like in your religion. If you're religious, whenever you sin and stuff like that, you're supposed to repent, you're supposed to ask for forgiveness, and God forgives you and everything moves on. So until she actually comes to this point where she can absolutely go up and say, I apologize for doing this, period. I understand where I would take fault in this, and I'm sorry, period. Then I feel like you can't keep being combative and knowing that you did wrong. You know what I mean? Know what you did wrong and say, I'm sorry for it. And it's the one thing to say, you know what you did wrong and still not apologize, because then where is this? It's not genuine. You know what I mean? You have to make it right with the person you made it wrong with. Okay. And the same thing with Martell. So a lot of people tend to focus on Arionne, and I know y'all focus on Martell because we're going to get into him too. But the same thing with Martell. Martell's karma is looking different than Arionne. So Arionne may seem like she's getting really, really dragged on the internet, people making them names, blah, 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 trying to buy her business. But you got to think about, from my understanding, Mel was the breadwinner. She had the license for the businesses. She had all of this and this and the other. So his karma is going to hit him in the pockets and his ego and his pride and all that other stuff, because now he don't have no family. Okay. Now everyone knows that he's a cheater. He is financially not doing as well as he would have been if he would have stayed with his wife. So his karma is going to come back to him in different forms. So we just have to be mindful that just because her karma is looking like this doesn't mean that his isn't happening. She should just remain quiet and run her business. Exactly. Or that part. Or just be quiet and mind your business. Because from my understanding, from what I've been seeing, they never mentioned her name. She came out and started, she made herself known to be the side chick. That's the worst part about it. Like, girl, you could have avoided all of this, because I did see her post talking about something to you, walk into my shoes, you would never know, or something. Girl, bye. Oh no, she said she remember when her life used to be private or something like that. Those good old days are gone or something like that. But girl, you're the one who came out and said, hey, I want to tell the world that I'm the mistress, and then be mad and crying that they don't want to put you on a show. Why would you think they was going to put you on a show? Which brings me to another point. Now, I saw a video, I think Scotty by Nature made a video about who did he get the video from? Straight No Chaser. I think it was Straight No Chaser. And this is actually opening me up to a lot of other show channels that I never even watched before, didn't know about. So the world of Love and Marriage I said hip hop, child, not the hip hop. Woo. Love and Marriage Huntsville is opening me up to a lot of things. They were saying that they was trying to get her to film on the show. I don't really necessarily believe that she was trying to that they want her to film on the show. I don't think that it will ever happen. I do think that they want to get the baby on the show because that will make a lot of sense, especially for Martell with his children and things like that. But I honestly don't see it ever happening. Now, if it did happen, child, that would be something. Don't you think so? Because I could imagine. I could imagine. Let me tell you something. I'm not going because isn't Mel like the executive producer? She's one of the producers or something of the show. Nah. I would be like, no, immediately no. And then it was alleged that she was going to get paid to have the baby up there. Now I do think that if the only reason why I don't believe that they offered her to be on the show is because she was literally on the live literally a day before this happened, saying that she can't be on the show. I can't be on the show to tell my side of the story. And I'm like, girl, you need to calm down. Tell your side right here. Don't you got a YouTube channel? Tell your side up there. Baby, it's so many places to tell you. I've seen channels talk about you and have so many views and make so much money off of you, and you won't even go up and tell your own story, because best believe whether the people are dragging you or not, they will watch it. Okay. And I will be one of them. I will definitely be one of them because, I like a little mess. I ain't lying to y'all about nothing. I don't think nobody wants to film her. I wouldn't want to film with her either. I mean, why would you? Like, it's one thing for us to have our business, and especially because most of them are wives, right? So it would be kind of like, nah, I'm not supporting this. Whether you're my friend or not, I'm not supporting bringing on someone as a side chick or something like that to come up here and try to get their 15 minutes of fame. She stuck around for 7 years. Now she's supposed to be part of the come up and this, that, and other. Absolutely no. Immediately no. Because whether she goes on the show and she's getting dragged, the fact of the matter is she's still going to be on a national platform being paid to tell her story or do whatever it is that she's doing. And I don't honestly believe that she deserves that. I think that if she's going to do anything, let it be her own thing. You know what I mean? I don't think it should have anything to do with this franchise. It should definitely be her own thing. She could stick with selling her clothes or her boutique or whatever the case may be. But no, I would definitely not want to see her on the show. And I don't even watch the show, but it just don't make sense to me. Mel and Martell are both EPs, but they cannot hire or fire. They have to agree to bring her on, and no one will. I agree. And I feel like if Martell even halfway agrees to bring her on, they might beat him up. They might beat him up. And for all my new subscribers and some of my old ones who don't know, whenever y'all see me in my little sweater and my little tank top, it's because I'm laying around the house and I don't feel like putting on clothes. And usually I'm in a tank top, but because I don't want to feel so exposed, I put on my little sweater, okay? Because I know y'all probably see the sweater in a few videos, but that's what that means, okay? So just don't be thinking I be out here just wearing, the same clothes every day, all day. I just don't be going nowhere, and I don't be feeling like getting dressed, okay? So that's that part. I just have a feeling Martell and Melody will get back together. Just a feeling. I don't know. So here's my thing about this whole situation. I honestly feel like no. Okay. Now I'm a strong believer in reconciling and resolving issues in your marriages. I even feel like marriages can come back strong and survive infidelity. I do definitely believe that. But I think for him to have been doing this for 7 years, and I'm gonna assume that it's more, because I remember when I watched it in the early stages that she was pregnant at one point with his baby again. They were supposed to be working things out and stuff like that. And then in season 2, everything went downhill. So I feel like she she already made the attempt to move past it. They were supposed to be stronger. Everything was supposed to get better. But because he didn't change his ways and he really stood to, being the a-hole and the dog that he is, when someone shows you who they are, you have to let them go. I feel like she did her due diligence as a wife and tried to stick it out for better or for worse. But sometimes you have to choose you. Now, I gave you a shot to show me that this is not, that this was a mistake, that this was a one-off, that this wasn't really what it was, that you really learned your lesson and you want to be with me. And so for me, for him to actually go ahead and proceed to continue to do the same thing, then it's time for him to go. And I really don't want her to take him back. But at the end of the day, I honestly feel like the heart wants what the heart wants. She has 4 kids by this man. They have all types of business together. And sometimes we make dumb decisions. I don't think Mel will be that dumb to do it. I just hope she's not that dumb to do it. But will I judge her? No. Will I be side-eyeing him? Absolutely. And if she feels like after everything that they done been through, that this man is a changed man, baby, I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all. I really believe that if this woman, after everything that has been displayed upon the world to see, if she decides to get back with that man, she would have to really deep down in her heart, her mind, her soul, and everything believe that he's a changed man. And if that's what she's going to do, then baby, that's what she's going to do. Now for me, I would be like, no. You got me effed up. I'm not the one. Baby, I would make you miss me every day. I will show you what you missed out on every day. I will have you sitting there looking sad every day. But I'm not taking you back, because when I took you back with the hopes and prayers that you was going to change, you proved me wrong. So why should I take a second chance to you? You know what I mean? So I'm not really one of the people who say leave when you get cheated on and stuff like that. I really do feel like sometimes we have to like try to make it work, fight. But if someone continues to do something, then you have to let them go. Okay. Especially after he done had that girl pregnant so many times. Then he had her pregnant at the same time as Mel pregnant, right? Like, it's too much. It's too much. And they were 1 year apart. Both are born in December. That's what I'm saying. Like, he did way too much. Okay. So I'm going to drop the link because I want y'all to come up here and tell me what I've been missing out. Drop me some tea. Give me some insight. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. Give me the rundown. Okay. Because we got a little bit of time and I'm here for it. Okay. So the link is in the chat. All you got to do is click it. If you've been on lives before, for StreamYard, you do not have to show your face if you don't want to. But if you do, hey, I'm fine with that too. And let's just get into some of this because, baby, I want to know. Y'all let me know what's happening. Mel knew about her husband's infidelity prior to the show. Right. See, but that's the thing. Sometimes as a wife, or even as a woman, we all fell victim to that. He's going to change. He won't do it again. That phase. It's kind of like you want to believe that the person you love will love you the same way. You want to believe that they're actually going to change. They're actually going to be different this time and things like that. But when you realize that it's not going to work, you have to be the one to stop the cycle. So she stopped the cycle when she felt right. What's the song? When a woman's fed up, ain't nothing you could do. So it's like one of those things where it's not but so much you can do until that person gets fed up. Like, when they tell you, you know when you've had enough. That's what it was with her. Only she knew when she had enough. And unfortunately, in a lot of marriages, that's the role that some of these wives play. They play this role of only I know when enough is enough for me. Only I know when I'm ready to throw in a towel. And sometimes men take advantage of that, especially married men, because they feel as though, we made a vow between God for better or worse. And we got to get out of the brain and the mindset that better or worse means cheating. Because that's not what better or worse means, okay? But as humans, we have a lot of things that we need to work through. So we figured it out. Hey, Tracy, where'd she go? A woman's intuition always knows. We always know. Baby, we always know. Let me tell you, you can know something. And one thing I will say about us, okay? Ladies, listen, hear me out. If you have a suspicion about something, don't speak on it. Especially if it's cheating. Because as soon as you speak on it, whatever he's doing, he's going to try to tighten up, okay? Now, if you think that you want to get, if you really want to catch him, you got to be quiet and move in silence. Always pay attention, but never open your mouth. Don't switch up. Don't start acting funny. Move exactly the same way, and then when he's slipping, you're gonna catch him. Okay. Now, I will also say this: if you have an intuition about something and you know that you're not going to leave, okay, at least be prepared to pretend like you're going to leave. Child, at least be prepared to have a quote unquote exit plan. Okay, so if that means packing up your kids and going to your sister's house for 1 week or whatever that looks like for you, the quote unquote pretending. I hope ain't no man in here trying to pretend like you want to leave to see if he's going to straighten up or see if he's going to come back or whatever case may be, and then move forward. Hold on, y'all. The link is in the chat. If you want to come up, just click on the link. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to say, okay? So that's that on that. Tracy, where'd you go, girl? I thought she was about to give me the lowdown and the scoop on what happened with Martell and them and all the other girls. So what else about this show? A woman's intuition never lies. Right. So like I'm saying, y'all, at least pretend. At least pretend. I lost my train of thought. Child, my husband and my daughter walked in, and I lost my train of thought that quick. You know, like that. So what else did y'all say in these comments? After they shot the pilot, Mel found out about coleslaw. She moved out and left. They picked up the show, and that's what caused them to try again. Oh, okay. So she never really wanted to leave. I mean, she was already trying to leave, but he kind of like the show made him stay. Okay. Hi, Ashley. What's going on? Ashley, you got to unmute yourself. Milan, stop doing that. My daughter play too much, y'all. She play too much. Let me go yell at her like a mother. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. All right. I ain't yell like her like a black mother. You know, I just gave her a little stop doing that. Okay. You looking for your headphones? Good. My best friend found text from her husband talking to a woman he met at a football game and planned to visit her in another state. The next day she went off instead of waiting to catch him. See, that's what I'm saying, Monique. You gotta be quiet because that's how you get caught. And y'all know how men are, right? Men are the ones that like you gotta have proof, or they would try to deny. Okay, so if you ain't got your proof, don't let them manipulate you into believing that you crazy because they will do it. Okay, the manipulation of it all is real. Okay, so they definitely will try to manipulate you and think you crazy. So you gotta wait till you have your facts. Okay, have everything in order, have your ducks in a row. Okay, but yeah, what? She found the text from her husband talking to a woman he met at a football game and planned to visit her in another state. Child, really? He was planning on going to a whole nother state, baby. I would have been on a plane with him in a row all the way in the back. You going out of state? You going out of you going out of state? Yeah, me too. See you when I see you. Child, no, immediately no. What's wrong with these people? Okay. Okay, Tracy's back, y'all. Hey, Tracy.
Hey. Girl, I had to find my headphones because otherwise you get this real nasty static, and I didn't want to do that to you.
Okay.
I think I'm mad for like almost everybody who do Love and Marriage Huntsville. So do you want the on-show information? Do you want the Instagram information? Do you want the Facebook information? What do you want? Because
I want whatever you're trying to give me. I need y'all to fill me in. That's what this whole live is for. We're trying to get caught up.
Listen, so I have it all. And when I tell you, I'm on for 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on for 5 different people, and you probably know all 5 of them. And I don't want to say other people's channel names on your channel because that's not like I don't want to do that. but they're reputable people. Like, and Mel has been on these people's platforms and everything else. So I've seen the DMs, and so when I'll I'll send you an Instagram later so you can know I'm not one of them people that's just telling you stuff.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
So so on the show, when season one first started, Mel and Martell, like probably the, like, let's say the last 3 episodes is when we got like the cheating information, or her talking about cheating because Tisha brought it up.
Okay.
And we didn't know anything about it prior to any of that. The backstory of that piece was that was the phone call where Coleslaw Ariane, whatever you want to call her, where she called Martell. Melody picked up the phone and she told her to put Martell on the effing phone. So
Okay, wait.
that
Was this actually aired? Because I heard her talk about this.
it aired, but it didn't come to air until like season 3.
Oh.
So the timeline of the show is like they do a lot of flashback. So the show does a lot of flashback. So what happened was they shot the pilot episode, right? They shot the pilot, they sent it off, tried to get it picked up. Well, in between them getting the show picked up and the pilot, that is when the phone call happened and said, "Oh, put him on the effing phone." Melody moved out, got her own apartment. Then the show got picked up. They then got back together because they also had a fallout with the Scotts, because Melody Melody picked up the phone, got upset at Martell, and called Marceau and was crying to Marceau. And that's when Marceau said, like, "Oh, I met her at the restaurant parking lot to try and calm her down because,
I'm sorry. I saw this part on the reunion, right? This is what they was talking about on the reunion in last season?
Yes, that's what they were talking about in the reunion. Now, keep in mind, all of that happened before the show got picked up. So they did the pilot, and then in between the pilot and the first season being picked up, this is when the cheating came to light. So he had been cheating for a couple years at that point, but that is when she got her hard proof. So she knew, like, that was the phone call where she was like, me and her got into an argument, this is that and the third. And that's also the phone, like, she called Marceau and was like, "Hey," and then Marceau was like, "Oh, I'm gonna meet you here." And he tried to calm her down because she was like hysterical, and that was the right thing to do.
Okay.
So all of that happened prior to season 1 actually shooting.
So this was going to play out regardless.
Yeah, there was I don't know how I don't know how Martell thought he could keep this off from showing up. Like, I don't know how he thought it could happen.
So wait, he really thought that it was never going to be aired? No one was ever going to find out about him cheating?
Kind of. Okay, so the original premise of the show was more like HGTV. It was more like home building, real estate, entrepreneurs. So technically there was no reason for his marriage to come up in the show, because when they pitched it, it was more like a HGTV. They're going to build all these homes on this acres, and one person was doing like commercial, like, buildings in it, and some people was doing homes, and Kimmy was going to sell the homes. So it was like Martell was doing the residential, Marceau was doing the commercial side, Kimmy was the realtor who was going to sell it, and Maurice was had the he's a lawyer, and he did, like, home, not home improvement, Lord, like credit repair, and he knew the stuff to get them into the homes to help them get into it. So the idea made sense, right? It was like a full, well-rounded thing. Each person had their own kind of designated job. So that's what they picked it up. So
okay. So all of this was supposed to be the premise of the show. How in the heck did we get here?
Because Carlos is messy. That's how we got here. Because Carlos is messy.
So we
what?
blaming Carlos.
Listen. Well, so what started it was, so if you watch like the first part of season 1, it was all about the 57 acres. It was all about building. It was all about all of this stuff. Nothing to do with like them cheating. And Melody and Martell was like Team Holt. They put on the perfect marriage, like yada yada yada. And then Tisha had said like something about like they had this anniversary dinner, and Tisha started talking about cheating. And then Mel talked about the cheating. And then it just spiraled. And like, well, what do you mean? Well, what is this? You know how the confessionals go and be like, so why would you say this? Like, why would you talk about cheating at their anniversary dinner?
Right. Wait, at the anniversary dinner?
Yes, that's when Tisha brought up the cheating. Tisha was like, so she didn't specifically bring up Martell cheating. She met, oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember the comment exactly, but it literally went like, oh, like what to you is something that you could never come back from? Would you be able to come back from infidelity? Like she started that kind of conversation. And so when people are like, oh, we don't really understand why like Melody and Tisha don't really get along. I'm like, if she called Marceau, late at night, hysterically crying about what Martell did, you think when he left, he didn't tell Tisha? So we really thinking like Tisha knew. So it's like Tisha takes little jabs, and I was like, oh, okay.
Tisha and Mel friends?
Huh?
Tisha and Mel, are they friends? But why did Mel go to Marceau?
Because well, let's go back. So Martell got a temper and he got a record, and it was getting heated.
Oh.
So, she called his friend who was supposed to be able to, help calm the situation.
His friend because he was supposed to calm him down, not for her own, outlet.
Not for her own outlet. It was more like I'm gonna call your
friend because he's wilding right now.
Yeah, and it was just this whole thing. So you called, and then it turned into, and then she ended up leaving. So it was a whole mess. He had a mistress before they filmed. Yes, he had the mistress before he filmed. Yes, he definitely, absolutely had it before he filmed. But he did say, like, when Melody moved out and took the kids, they did go to counseling. He did say that he broke it off with her, and he did, do all of these things to show her that, he wasn't cheating.
And this was before, before they started filming, that they were supposed to be on good terms, everything, he worked it out and all this other stuff, they had moved past it? Or this was during the filming?
It was before the filming of the season, but after the filming of the pilot. So they filmed the pilot, and then they didn't get picked up for like 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
So in between that 6 and 7 months, it was, she found out about Arionne, she moved out, they went to counseling, they tried to work it out. All of that stuff happened in that little bubble.
Okay.
So then filming started.
Okay. And he started up again.
Yeah.
Or he never stopped and it just came back to the light.
Well, according to Martell and her, both of them said like they stopped and then they started, and then they didn't talk for months, and then they started back up. So both of them have said, but it always sounded like it was like 2 or 3 months. Like, so there will be like little periods where they wouldn't speak at all.
Oh, okay.
So there was like some, there was truly some cutoff period where they weren't messing around, and he maybe was trying to work on and fix his marriage. Possibly.
Okay, wait. So hold on. I'm sorry. 1 second. I'm trying to make sense. So you mean him and Arionne wasn't talking in those periods of time?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So see, she's stupid. This furthers my case as to why she's dumb for even believing that this married man was going to leave his wife. But go ahead. I'm listening. I'm going to stop my camera for 2 seconds, y'all, because I want to eat my burger. But I'm still here. I'm just going to listen.
We all feel the same way, because we was like, when you hear the story outright, the math don't math when you look at the big picture. Like a small part of the story, like you're like, oh, okay, I can understand that. But then when you look at it in the big picture, you like, this don't sound right.
Hmm.
So then okay, so season one happens, they start filming. Tisha brings up the infidelity thing, and is that a deal breaker? Because I think, and this part is my speculation, Martell and Melody put on this Team Holt, it's us against the world, we have the perfect marriage, people should be like us, we're in
Mm.
counseling, we're better than ever, we're communicating, we're doing all these things. So I don't know if he was giving her that full facade to make her comfortable that he had like truly stopped cheating, right? So I don't know if he was laying it on thick during those times,
Well,
or
usually
I don't.
they usually do after they get
Okay,
caught. It's real thick. It's
yeah.
real thick.
So
So like a good.
so I don't know if in Tisha's mind she was like, "Oh, I'm tired of this because I know he was cheating, so I'm gonna take a little dig." But after that conversation at this anniversary dinner about cheating, like everything about it just spiraled.
But why did
It
Tisha
just,
do that? Just
I
being
don't,
messy?
listen, I don't
Did
know
she
if
not
it
like love?
was, I don't, that part I'm not sure of, because the Scotts and the Holts had a falling out after the pilot episode was shot. So
Oh, so they
their
already too
friendship
engaged to
was
this.
rocky. Yes, their
Oh,
friendship was a little rocky when it got picked up for like the season. So there might have been some things, because
so,
Melody was the, oh, go ahead.
no. So I'm thinking. So it's safe to say that this whole show, they was friends and everything was going good before the pilot. After the pilot got filmed and picked up, everything started going downhill.
Yep. Hmm, hmm, hmm.
And then it was too late because now they gotta go film together. The
Yep.
friendships are rocky. She found out he cheated. Now everything's about to get exposed because we can't hide but for too long on a reality TV show, right?
Yes.
Okay,
That would be it. So
go ahead.
so for me, the thing is, prior to the anniversary dinner conversation, right? Melody and Tisha seemed to be like good friends. They were like they were bouncing business ideas off each other, and they like everything seemed to be okay. But the only reason I feel like Tisha was being either messy or she was annoyed or frustrated, because I was like, why at someone's anniversary dinner would you bring up infidelity when you know, because your husband knew, so you know that they had infidelity issues and she had moved out. So it's like, the only reason I say, like, to me, I feel like Tisha was being messy because that question, like at your anniversary dinner,
That sounds very messy.
that was. But outside of that, like, everything else seemed fine. So it was, so if you watch season one, you'll be like, dang, that seems real odd that this is the question, right? But
Yeah.
we also didn't know at that point that they had this infidelity issue and these things had happened. We didn't know any of those things prior to
Oh,
that question. So then once she said it, then Melody went on and started talking about it and this is that and the third. And Martell like said nothing. He just looked like a deer in headlights, like, I can't believe that this is happening right now. Like, is that what I meant for anniversary dinner? Like, so it was this, this odd dynamic at the thing. And then you seen like the confessional started talking about it. And like the last kind of 3 episodes kind of spiraled into this kind of history of cheating and infidelity and stuff like that.
so it took
So,
for the show.
hmm?
I'm sorry. So
Wait,
everything took over the show.
yes, 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 yes. That
But
took over the show.
isn't the show called Love and Marriage? So wouldn't they
It's
assume that it would
it's
have something to do like with their marriages too?
so the original show was not called Love and Marriage Huntsville. That's the thing. The original show was something to do with building. So it was not like the title of the show changed as they filmed the season.
Oh, okay. So
So
now,
Carlos,
they changed the name of the show in the middle of the season. Oh
well,
no,
no,
filming.
like while they were filming it, yes.
So when they
So
realized
if
that it was going to go south.
yes, yeah. So when Carlos was like, "Oh, I got something here," so if you listen, Marcel had did a podcast, not a podcast. He had went on IG and was like, "Oh, like when I signed my contract, it was nothing. It wasn't even called Love and Marriage Huntsville. It wasn't even about this. Like I would have never signed up if I knew it was going to be about this. You see what I mean? So, but the way this show works is if you don't watch them off camera, it doesn't make sense. It seems like everything should just make, but if you watch like all the freaking lives that they do and all the Facebook things, that if you watch them off it and they say, oh no, this was this and this is this and this is why I did this, you're like, oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
No, it definitely was Tisha. So if you go back to season 1 and you watch the dinner, Tisha asked the question about infidelity. So I'm not saying that it was Tisha's fault. I'm not saying it was Tisha's fault. I'm saying Tisha asked the initial question that
About
started Mel on the tangent about cheating. So,
okay. So Marcel wasn't on board with it turning into a marriage thing at first. So all the men was like, nah, what y'all doing?
None of the men were on board with it. None of the men wanted it.
Of course not.
No. So, like I said, so none of the men were on board with it. So then fast forward, we get to season 2, and it is now into like, oh, the infidelity. What are they going to do? Oh, their relationship. Oh, they might be pregnant. This is that and the third. The infidelity. So what happened was a popular YouTuber was doing a video and called her Cold Slaw and said, if anybody in Huntsville knows who this person is, hit me up because I want to know who they talking about.
Was that the lady from Married to Medicine?
No. Nah.
Oh, was it Funky Dineva?
It was.
Okay.
It was. So
I remember seeing a video about when he was talking about something and he mentioned that. Okay, makes sense now. Okay, keep going.
Yes. So that is when her information came out. So her information came out on YouTube. And so then you know how YouTube tends to do. Once it goes to one, it then kind of explodes and everybody wants to know. And there's all this big hoopla around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we found out who she was, because they never mentioned her name on the show.
So Funky Dineva put it out
there? Yeah.
Allegedly.
No, it wasn't alleged. No, he did. I watched the video twice. I had to go back and was like, oh.
So he showed her picture, or she? How did we find out it was her? It was Arionne, not just a side chick, not a coleslaw, not. How did we find out that it was Arionne?
So he messaged her because so he asked everybody like, oh, if you know somebody in Huntsville, if you know who this person is, because Huntsville is small, so it's like if you know who this person is, hit me up. I want to know who they are.
Oh,
right. Really? So then.
Yeah, she got the story right. Because I used to watch Funky Dineva all the time, and he actually has family from Alabama, and he was like, oh, my boots on the floor, boots on the street. Tell me who the girl is, and all of the tea sippers or people who were into the show called him and shared the girl's name, and then eventually she reached out to him.
Mm-hmm. So Arionne reached out to Funky Dineva. Did he ever do an interview with her?
No, he didn't, because at the time I think Martell was telling her not to do it, but eventually because she wasn't the one who initially told her name. It was other people in the streets, and then they also told that they had matching BMWs or something like that.
Yep.
And okay, so apologize to Arionne. for saying that she put herself out there when she actually didn't?
Well, okay,
No, she didn't put herself out there. That was
she didn't do an interview with Funky. They did a phone call and he recorded the phone call and then they played it on Tasha K.
Yeah.
If you go back to the Tasha K when Funky was on the thing, because it was her, Funky, and one other person.
Oh,
was it Storm?
Wait,
was it Storm who was on the? It was the three of them, and they went and they listened to the recording and they talked about it.
Whose channel?
It was on Tasha's channel. It was on her channel.
No, but it was called Funky, but Funky didn't want to do this because Marcel and them were trying to he was keeping her quiet at the time, so she wasn't talking to anyone.
Yes, so it was. But she's had a
women.
couple of leaked audio conversations with people let me say this. Outside of Tasha K, I've never heard of a formal interview that she did. The other ones were more like leaked phone conversations that she was having with people.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So who showed her face? She did.
Well, people did. I think everyone had her, because Huntsville was like pouring with hot tea at the time. Everybody who would listen, everybody was getting the information. Because I found out her name through Funky Dineva. Before he started calling her Coleslaw, he told everybody her name was Arionne.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that she was a nurse at the time. Because it was like tea was pouring in at the time, and everybody said, "Oh, okay, who's this girl?" No one saw her though. But eventually her picture got leaked. I don't know who did that though.
Probably Arionne.
No, because Arionne was hiding because she was being a good mistress at the time for Martell. I don't know what happened recently. She's just been all over the place.
I guess she had no choice because the people was looking for her.
Yeah, they was looking for her.
She came out and said, "I heard y'all was looking for me."
Now it's kind of like she wants to have a little fame from it. Clearly, she wants to have some TV time, but it's not gonna happen.
Oh my
He's
God!
on that show.
So what's the friend dynamics like? So wait, let me ask this. Is this like we frenemies type of situation between how many couples is it? 4, 3?
It was 3 couples. It was the Scott brothers and then Mel and Martell.
Okay, and that's Marcel and Maurice.
Marcel. Yeah.
Marcel and Maurice. And Maurice is married to Kimmy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcel is married to Tisha.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see if I got this right from my recollection of some things that I've seen and heard. So Marcel is with Kimmy. Kimmy got all these degrees, but she can't work because he won't let her.
No, that was Tisha.
That's Tisha. I mean, not so Marcel and Keisha, Maurice and Kimmy. Okay, so that's Tisha and Marcel, right?
Yeah, Tisha had degrees in like business administration or something, but she didn't go to work because she had the 3 kids at home, and Marcel was the one taking care of all the business outside.
Okay, and Marcel's the one that kind of has no, from what I've seen, personality, and he also supposed to have a surprise baby somewhere.
Yeah, supposedly he's like the caveman who's slowly converting to like more progressive.
Okay, because I keep hearing about these daggone baby. I'm like, if it ain't show up, I don't think it's there. But we're gonna get into that. So Kimmy, now what's the deal between Kimmy and Maurice? Because I know that Maurice was supposed to be in that photo with them, but he was supposed to be messing with the linebackers, quote unquote. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to put it all together in my head so I can make it.
Oh Lord.
So Maurice from what it sounds like, he used to mess around on Kimmy back in the day, but ever since they got together, he's been solid.
That's what they would like us to believe.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that this is all that I'm not looking at the wrong show.
No, so you know what?
Right now, the tea is Marcel and Maurice have a sketchy past when it comes to fidelity. Now, Kimmy, who is with Maurice, wants to believe it was before their marriage, even though they were living together, I think 5 years before they got married. Mm-hmm. He's kind of like giving him a clean slate once they got married. And Tisha's just in complete denial. She doesn't believe her husband cheated at all. But
what do people think?
Huh?
The people think he cheated?
Well, Marcel kind of plays with the crowd and makes us believe that he cheats.
Yeah.
I mean, pictures with them and Martell. Everyone knows Martell's mistress by the first name. They're hanging out with each other. They're taking pictures. It just doesn't seem like a loyal, monogamous man will be hanging with him to that extent when you're like hanging out with the mistress. So people just assume they're cheating.
When you say play in the face, you mean like the pictures and stuff?
Well,
Does he say things that make you think he's cheating?
Well, the picture that was leaked online with Maurice and Marceau and Martell all down in Atlanta with these little like mischievous looks on their faces.
I saw that picture.
And they looking all smooth and looking like they looking for the hoes. That was taken by Arionne.
Who the heck is Yolanda? Marceau.
Oh, that's the hairstylist. So there's a story.
Well, go ahead, tell it. I don't know that. What's going on?
So there's a story that Marceau was messing with Mel's hairstylist, who also did Tisha's hair for a while. So they were saying that was the person he was sleeping with, but she's married and she got on live with them and said, I've never slept with that man. I don't know that man like that. But they was like, if you married and you got stuff to lose, I don't see you going on there and be like, yeah, I slept with your husband while I'm married. So it was this whole little kerfuffle of, everyone said that she's who the mistress was, and she came out and said, no, she wasn't.
Someone called Funky's show and said that he was sleeping with the hair. No, it was all about the tea. Someone called and said that they knew the hairdresser that was sleeping with Marceau.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Child,
but I agree. Marceau plays with his marriage a lot. Like he does, like even like the things he says, the jokes he makes, and the things that he just allows to continue to go on is what people feel like plays with their marriage. Yeah. And even if you see Tisha, like, she'll come and she'll be like upset, like, but what about this? And then he makes jokes and he plays around. So he does like play around with the
audience. He knows that we believe that he's like cheating. So he does stuff like, what do you mean? Why would you ask the question like that? Ignore them. He never gives an answer. When she's like, did you do it or not? He'd be like, well, the question is, why would I do something like that? Like,
he began like,
yeah, he plays around.
Yeah, yes, that cousin is Martell's cousin. That also is the cousin that the party that he met Arionne at. That's the same cousin. That's the same
just all roads are leading to cheating.
All the same person.
All roads are leading to cheating for the group because they were all hanging around Martell with Arionne.
So is it fair to say it's 107 people up here? Y'all need to let me know. Is it fair to say that all the Love and Marriage Huntsville watchers kind of believe that he is cheating and it just hasn't been proven yet?
Yeah, obviously his things are hot. They're not coming out the closet. Not like Arionne.
Okay, so according to Marceau, he told Martell he needs to go talk with, the old heads because, they'll tell him the right way to do it. So if it sounds like you already went and talked to the old heads and you know the right way to do it, so you trying to help your friend get on the right way to do it because he said like she's not the one, like she's don't cheat with her. So it's the things that he says and makes jokes and comments and plays around with is why people feel like he's cheating.
Hold up, he told him not to cheat with him.
And I want to know, what is the old way to do it? How do they do it where they don't get caught? Explain this.
Well, because, they say like back in the day, your granddaddy had a family on the other side of town and that family never crossed over. So, they stayed separate.
He was taking care of the household as long as the house was being taken care of. Everybody was hush hush.
Yeah. And you don't come to the other household and say nothing. Like, that's not what you do. You stay over there and you be quiet. Like, but so that's what the thing was implying because Martell even told Melody like, oh no, you need to go sit down and talk to the old ladies so they can help you understand. She was like, help me understand what? So it was that kind of conversations that leads people to believe, oh, he's cheating, or oh, they're like all of them just kind of, was at one point just cheating. And I want to believe that Maurice is not currently cheating.
And
you know what? Because if you like some of the things that he said like on live and stuff, and he was like, oh no, once I left Kiowa and I started to file for my divorce, I started doing whatever I wanted to do. Like, I was single, I was out here sleeping with multiple people, I was wild. And from his own story, he was messing with Kimmy, and then Kimmy was like, yeah, I'm not about to do this. And Kimmy told him he needed to choose. So wait, he chose to settle down.
So that's what they mean by they said that Kimmy was Maurice's mistress?
No, kind of. No, that's different. So Kiowa.
Oh my God, what is going on? Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second, please. You guys like the video. If you're just now getting here, we are basically just everyone's filling me in on what's happening with Love and Marriage Huntsville. All the stories. I mean, I'm just trying to get caught up so I can start watching in September with y'all. So if you would like to, I'll drop the link in the chat. Everyone's more than welcome to come in and tell me what they like, what they don't like, who's they favorite, who's they not favorite, what I'm missing, what I need to know, what's important, what's not important. And we just gonna have a conversation amongst ourselves about what's going on. And I'm just gonna soak up all this tea while it's hot. Okay, y'all go ahead.
So
good job. Good.
Kimmy and Maurice they were living in, oh gosh, I want to say Ohio, but it's probably not Ohio. They was living in another state.
I think it was Chicago.
Maybe it was Chicago. So they was living there. The story is Kiowa cheated on him with her now current husband. He left her, moved back to Alabama, filed for divorce. So he left the marital home, like he left and filed for divorce and moved back to Alabama. While he was, no, not quite. While he was in Alabama, he started seeing multiple people.
Okay.
Right? He was just doing him because he met Kimmy. The divorce, technically, that's where the question is, was the divorce final or not? There's that like gray area of whether it was final or not. But the story goes that, he had left, he had filed, that it sounded like it was just waiting on it to be processed. He was out living his best life. And he said, what was the story that he had slept with what was it, 5 or 6 people in a night?
Oh, it was completely selling his wild oats.
Yes, yes.
Kimmy was somebody that he kind of stopped. Once he had got it all out of his system by the time he met Kimmy. And then him and Kimmy began to take it more serious.
Okay.
But because he had such an abrupt divorce from his wife believes that Kimmy was a part of the demise of their relationship.
Okay, so wait, let me summarize this real quick. Let me make sure I process this right. So he was getting a divorce from his wife. He decided to go out here and do F-boy stuff. So he just started wilding, basically.
Wilding out.
With everybody whenever he wanted. Then he started messing with Kimmy and he kind of slowed down because he realized that she probably would be the one for him, right?
No, he was done with the whole wild stuff, he said. By the time he met Kimmy, he had gotten it out of his system.
So now he was ready to settle down again.
He was ready to have a relationship. They weren't even considered. They didn't get married to like the first season, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay, so he was ready to have a relationship now that he done had all his fun. He decided like this life not really for me. I like the married life a little bit better, right? So now he goes and he meets Kimmy and they start being kind of exclusive in dating. The wife says, "Oh, you must have been dealing with her the whole time because now you back with her because now you got somebody allegedly. Well, now you're in a relationship with somebody and we just basically almost finalized our divorce, right?"
Well, actually, I think an added component to it is this: Kimmy actually knows her through somebody, so she felt more violated. Like,
well, no. So Kimmy doesn't know her.
They
Kimmy
know
knew
each other through people.
Yes.
Know
so her. Kimmy knows one of his sisters because there's a ton of Scots. So Kimmy's friends with one of the Scots, which of course she was married to her, she was married to them, so she knows them. So it's like, the new girlfriend is friends with the sister and the ex-wife.
So how long was it? What's the timeline between the separation / divorce to being with Kimmy? How many months or years was in between?
That I don't know. Could you help me with that?
That probably was about maybe less than a year. Because when we tell you the story is, Kiowa cheated on him with her current husband. He left the state. Like he picked up and left the state and filed for divorce. So I was like, well, if you're going to divorce, I mean, I at least appreciate, he was like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm done. He filed for divorce and left, went to Alabama.
Okay.
And then did this. So while they were processing the paperwork to get their divorce, to get it finalized, he was sowing his royal oats. And then at the tail end of that is where he met Kimmy. The gray area still stands on whether the divorce had been finalized before they started dating, like whether the symbol had been stamped or not when they started dating.
And then also the gray area is, you knew I was going through a divorce and you guys hooked him up with somebody that I kind of know of.
Oh.
Yeah, this is why Kimmy gets called the mistress, even though she's not.
Oh. Wait, so that's what they was talking about on a reunion last time. Because I only saw one reunion, that was the last one. They was trying to clear it up. Is this their first reunion? Last season was the first reunion?
I think no. I think it's it's the third. So they had a reunion, and then after it's either season 2 or season 3 didn't have a reunion because of the pandemic. Okay, and then the rest of them had. So we're missing one reunion.
Stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I know
the last reunion had so much stuff to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Cool.
But Kimmy always wanted to make it very known that she was not a mistress, and Kaya was convinced that she was one.
Okay, so what's the
story? Wait. Here's what makes it even more messy. Tisha sat down and had a conversation with Kiowa while Kiowa was talking trash about Kimmy, which is why there's that underlying feeling of, you want me to protect you, but you don't protect me because you sat down and had a conversation with Kiowa as Kiowa was calling me mistresses, but you want me to have your back because we sisters.
Oh, with Tisha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Keisha kind of confirmed in a way that Kaya was correct, right, even though she knows she wasn't right. She didn't stick up for Kimmy.
So Kimmy and Tisha have a unspoken beef. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, they're family, but they're complicated.
Okay.
Because they're married to Scott brothers.
Okay. So is this a team Kimmy, team Tisha thing?
No, they're on the same team.
I just gotta ask because y'all got all types of teams over here. I need to know who's.
It's only one team at this point.
It's one team. Technically, like they have their little tips, but they're married to brothers, so they're like.
No, I say this
even if we don't like each other, we have to get over this quickly because we're married to brothers who are best friends. We can't escape each other. Like, there's no escaping each other. So they, unlike other people on the cast, they have to, hash their issues out.
Because I was told that if I was going to review the show, one of the key takeaways that the advice I got was, be careful when it comes to Kimmy because you can't go against Kimmy because they would try to eat you up. So I'm like, what's going on out there with Kimmy?
It's like Switzerland. She really doesn't have any true beefs. She tries to manage all the crazy, but at the same time, like what we're seeing this season is that's her mechanism of hiding that her marriage has problems. But
very true.
She doesn't usually have any. Kimmy's not a bad person. She tries to keep it neutral.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kimmy is like the fan favorite. Is kind of what most people feel. Now, mind you, this season, people starting to look at her crazy because we like, sis, that don't make sense.
This season that people are starting to look at her crazy from last season.
The picture.
The
picture came out online of Marceau, Maurice, and Martell in Atlanta on a boys' trip with them looking really suspect, and the picture was taken by Arionne. Now, in the last reunion, Maurice said he has never met Arionne, and he had and that's when Martell put the picture out, showing that.
Oh no, Maurice put the picture out because they brothers.
Yeah. Okay, Marcel put the picture out showing Maurice in the picture, and
Marcel said, "Y'all not about to take me down alone. You better grab Maurice too."
Yeah, and Maurice was mad because he then he admitted it, but it was like way late, and everybody was like, "Why are you lying if you're not a cheater?" if you ever been in her presence, what's the big deal?
So why we side eyeing Kimmy for Maurice lying?
Because she's covering, like
she knew.
She's putting the blinders on. She's
first she said
didn't know that he met Arionne, right?
Kimmy first said she would never deal with cheating. Now this season she moved the goalpost and said, "Well, we weren't married at the time, so anything that he did outside the marriage, I'm not going to hold him accountable."
I can agree with that.
But you said you would never deal with cheating at one point. But now after the picture came out and people was like, do you think, because one of the things Arionne did in the interview with Tasha K, she confirmed that they were down there with quote unquote linebackers.
All of them.
Yeah. Except her, because she was with Martell. And they were down there with big body chicks, she was saying.
She get on my nerve. Ooh.
So it's one of those things where you're right. Marcel was like, yeah, I'm not going down alone. Because prior to that picture and all of that, Kimmy and Maurice were like the boring couple. Like Kimmy was trying to be the peacemaker of the ladies and their issues and all that kind of stuff. Maurice was super boring. So if you actually go back and you hear anybody reviews it, like, oh, he's super boring. He gives like, he's just kind of there. They was calling him like Kimmy's husband because he was like super boring. But I guess like he was in law school and stuff like that. So maybe whatever, to try and give him some sort of grace, whatever. But he was super boring. So prior to this season, there really wasn't much. I mean, they did have the conversation with Kiowa and Kimmy and Maurice and, to try and hash that stuff out. But other than that, they were super boring. So Kimmy just seemed like, oh, the level-headed one, the peacemaker, the fun one, the nice one. But now we're like, oh, sis, no, you are unfortunately now looking to be crazy because you're ignoring your husband's prior bad actions and, sweeping everything under the rug to try and keep your marriage intact.
Okay.
Is what we're noticing now. But prior to that, we didn't notice that.
And then Maurice is now opening up more and sharing more. And it's almost like we're looking at the same person. Because Maurice used to be a little bit more like, careful with his words and how he treated his wife on camera. But now he's kind of like playing up this role of just kind of being misogynistic. As a man, I want sex 2 times a day. And if I'm not getting my sex and I'm like, what happened to Maurice?
Isn't this like the same thing Martell was saying?
Maurice was saying, Marcel is very caveman. And you, Jane, come and beat your head. Like, where it's like,
you know what I think it is? Maurice is more of like a caveman in a business suit. Yeah. So you didn't see it at first. Or it also could be that Martell and Maurice was doing so much bull that we just overlooked Maurice completely because the other two was so terrible. We were like,
happens.
Focus, and we missed his. And also, he was kind of boring, so maybe we missed his. But now that he's coming more to the forefront, we're like, oh, we're seeing it now. But this show is an intricate thing of Facebook and Instagram, and like, so if you go on and you see their lives and it. Because that's really where like the most of the Miss Wanda drama comes from.
Just Facebook. Ask about Miss Wanda and how did we get here? So wait, all right. So let me just make sure. Miss Wanda is Tisha's daughter.
Tisha's mother.
Tisha's mom, right? So because I watched her interview on Scotty's channel. And from what I gathered from it, most of it was that she was basically just trying to take up for her daughter or defend her daughter. What happened that she's trying to defend her from? Like, what's she trying to take up for her for?
You want to take a time? Well, pick a time.
Okay, well, let's just get into what.
So you know what? Here's the best way to describe Miss Wanda. You know how sometimes they'd be like, oh, there's like pageant moms and dance moms and like these like, cheerleading, like, how there's that stereotype of the mother who's like all in the kids things. Yeah, like that's her.
Like
her daughter
Jeff Jones mom type of thing.
Yes, yes, that will be the perfect example of it. and we keep trying to understand, like, your daughter grown, she grown with 3 kids and multiple degrees and a husband. Why are you going this hard? Tisha has played into the meek, quiet, I don't do much of anything, I let my mom fight my battles for me role for a while.
Okay. So she's like sitting behind quiet while her mom's getting all the backlash.
Yeah, pretty much. Her mom does her dirty work.
She does the dirty work.
She puts a battery in her mom's back, and then her mother just runs around until she winds out. You know how you turn it up and then it goes crazy and then it slowly winds down.
But what exactly is her issue? Like, what's the because I saw a petition going around to get her kicked off, and I think it has something to do with the fight that she instigated or said something about the kids. But before we get really into that, before this came up, what made her act this way to the point where people had such strong feelings about her to begin with?
Because she just has a level of ignorance that we consider, like most of the fans consider, just intolerable when it comes to black imagery on TV. She says stuff such as, like, I think one episode she talked about another couple's children's hair length, calling them bald-headed. And said that they
talking about people's kids. Bad?
Listen, you know what? Miss Wanda is bad on social media. Like, Miss Wanda on social media is a tyrant. You know how Andy was like, "Oh, Candace is terrible on Twitter." Well, that's Miss Wanda on Facebook. Like, Miss Wanda is atrocious, and she compared, like, okay, so me and Miss Wanda real loose with the truth. So according to Miss Wanda, the reason she stopped liking Melody was in season 1, Melody laughed at Tisha's grandmother and aunt passing away. That's why she said she stopped liking Melody. Unfortunately, it took her 3 seasons before she started actively acting on not liking Melody. So there was a delay in there. But on social media, she has talked about the Eminem kids, which is Martell and Med's kids' hair, comparing it to her grandkids' hair, the hair texture, the hair length. She questioned the paternity of one of Mel's kids. Then she questions Mel's paternity.
Then she talked about Mel's mother's.
Yeah, she talked about Mel's mama.
Promiscuous.
Well, she talked about her own niece, saying her parents was going to, Roe versus Wade her.
Yeah, I heard that.
She's terrible. Like, she's that level of terrible on social media. So it spills into the show. And then it's like, why is it so amped up? Because she does these things offline. So then online. So when you get back on the show, it's like battery.
Wow.
Max.
So this isn't.
Oh yeah, she's called.
You know how, like, a lot of older women, like so it's not one of those cases where old people are just being blunt. It's like malicious.
Yeah, and she also called Kimmy out of her name on multiple occasions.
What she called her?
Bitch.
Yeah, she calls her B. Yeah,
she calls her B.
Wow.
So Peacemaker gets called out. It's like, come on now.
Listen.
So the petition to get her off the show, is it that bad where it's like it's no longer good TV? Because you know how sometimes we have villains, right? And the villains are good for TV, even though you hate to love you love to hate them type of thing. Is not that with her? From what y'all say, I can see how it's not, but is that
I don't mind her going after other, just don't go after the kids.
It's the kids that's too far.
That's why I was upset. Like, don't talk about the kids' hair length. Don't call them ugly. Don't say that, like they're bald-headed. It was very disrespectful.
Yes.
And she never, ever took accountability for her mother's statements towards the Holt's children.
And this was online? This was on the internet, not actually on
both.
The show? Or was
both.
it?
Both.
She did it on
so
both.
this is where it turns into, right? So let's say, oh gosh, was it season 3? When Wanda initially made the comment about the kids' hair and stuff like that on social media. They talked about it on the show with Tisha. With Tisha and Mel talked about it. And Tisha's statement was, "Oh, that's just my mom being my mom. What can I do? Like, I can't tell her what to do. She's my mom." Was Tisha's statements to them, which is why people feel like, because Tisha and Melody were going at it at that particular point, that you really wanted your mom to go hard after her, so your hands stayed clean, because your mom is like, will get down in the gutter with somebody. Like, it was that
kind of like how when Candy would take up for her mom, like, that's my mom.
Exactly, but it's worse.
Like, yes, but it's worse.
Awful things.
But it's worse. But yeah, so that is a good example, but it's worse. So it's one of those things where it's like, the Wanda that you see on TV would be good for the television show, right? It's Wanda on social media that is the terror, that takes everything so far left. Because that's literally this fight that we're going to see next season. It started because of Wanda. Like, she is the start of this physical altercation. Like, this one.
That's the one that's going to be filmed in September. The one that's going to start off the season in September, right?
Yes.
So what's the rumors around what happened with that? Is because she had mentioned Mel's kids?
She said Mel basically child wasn't Martell's.
Yeah. So she
the new one, the one they just had on the show,
the last one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she said this because Martell's trying to spin that Melanie cheated.
I don't know why. It's just
because if you could figure out why Wanda does what she does, you do good.
That she cheated, and I'm like, I don't think it's the same thing, Martell, but okay. So I'm trying to figure out what was the purpose of it. Like, did she really feel that way, or she just wanted to be nasty?
To be nasty.
Look, if you could figure out why Wanda does what she does, you'll be doing better than all of us, because
I don't know,
none
but
of us understand.
Kids out of it. Stop mentioning their children. Go after the adults. Do not go after the kids.
Well, but Wanda said on her live, she was like, I could go after whoever I want. Melody went after my kid. I could go after her kid. I'm like, Tisha is 40, married with children.
Oh my God! Wait,
all of Mel's kids is like minors.
So wait,
all her kids are minors.
Hold up. I gotta stop. Wait, because that's crazy. Hold up. So she said to Melody, "You came after my child, coming after yours," as if she's talking about her grown.
Yes.
Daughter?
Yes.
What's wrong with her?
Yeah. Now you're starting to understand the level of just like foolishness that people deal with. So it's like,
yeah, that don't make sense. Like, I can see. I honestly was about to say she got younger kids. Like, I was so confused for 2 seconds. Is Kimmy her only child?
Tisha, no, she got other kids. No,
Tisha the only child.
No, she got other kids. No, and I think all of her kids are grown, but she's raising some of her grandkids. Like, she raising some of her kids' so they're younger. But no, all her kids grown. Miss Wanda like 50, 60, somewhere around there. Like, she's grown. Wanda is up there, and all her kids are grown.
Oh, that is too funny.
So when we tell you, we're like there's, if you could understand why she does what she does and why she says, you will be doing better than all the rest of us, because we all are like, you do know that your child is a grown adult with multiple degrees, married with children.
And then when
you're talking about kids that are like in elementary school, in pre-K. Like, you know, you talking about somebody who's in daycare, right? Like, you understand. Oh, and she was a daycare worker for a long time, which really shocked me, because I was like,
well, Miss Wanda?
Yeah. I was like, wow. I could never. But then, so there's even things like that just like don't make sense to me about the show. Like, Destiny and Martell are supposed to be really good friends, and they went to school, that, you know, they knew each other from school and all of that. But Destiny is now really is friendly with Miss Wanda, be hanging out with Miss Wanda. But I'm like, but she said that his baby wasn't his baby. How are you like, how are you friends with her when she's saying that his kid ain't his kid? Like,
oh my God, that is
a mess.
for
But
me.
yeah, so the fight that happens that we're going to see in September is the fallout from Wanda going online and questioning the paternity of their youngest child together.
Okay.
That's what starts that issue. But there was also issues in the event, but that's where that came from, was she's questioning the paternity of our child. Now, what Melody did go on Carlos King's show and say that Tisha Daddy was in her DMs.
I saw that.
Wanda did acknowledge that Tisha Daddy was in her DMs. So I think it was also a bit of that also, made her mad that, that DM comment thing was there.
Lord,
so
in my DM.
It's a whole lot of like just it's layered things, but the layers don't always make sense when it comes to Wanda.
Oh God, child. Woo! I saw a lot of. Oh my God! Like, wait, what? Miss Wanda sounds like a character, and so this is the start of the fight. This is the one that's gonna basically take us in the second half of season. What season we on? 3, 4. On 4. Season second half. Do they normally split the season up like this?
I don't know. I don't think so.
They have, yes. So they have done split seasons before, and we were thinking that it was because of the pandemic, but I think maybe this is how Carlos wants to shoot it. I don't know. But yes, this is not the first season that they've split and put something in between.
Somebody said somebody's a thief. Who's a thief? What happened?
Oh, okay. Remember when?
I love that reaction. Girl, tell me.
Remember when we talked about Wanda going online and saying that her niece's grandfather said that she should have been Roe versus Wade. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So when that fallout and all of that started happening, her mugshot got released. The niece. Kiki's mugshot got released. So when Kiki's mugshot got released, they was like, oh, this has to be something to do with Wanda. So people on Facebook decided that they were going to go and start searching up, mugshots. But we had we knew Martell had a mugshot. Like, that was season 1. That wasn't new. Marcel's mugshot started to come out, and then Tisha's stuff started to come out.
Oh, no.
And then it turned into, yeah.
Lord,
Tisha got a mugshot for me, child. We learning a lot today, Amy.
So Tisha
had a mugshot. Oh,
well, it was from like a long time. It was from a long time ago. It was now they've also had multiple different stories about this, because Miss Wanda said they was in the grocery store, that their son was small, that their son was small. He was in the stroller. He was acting up. She gave him a bear so he would be quiet. They paid for all the stuff. They forgot the bear was in there with him. They went to leave the store, and the people stopped them and told them that they had stole this $25 bear. Mm-hmm. That was the one story.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Do y'all believe that story? If y'all believe that one, the first story, if y'all believe the first story, give me a 1. If you don't, give me a 2. Okay, what's the next story?
More Marceau.
Weird.
Marceau had a very similar story, except it was in the grocery store, and it was like the baby was there was some food stuff. So the story was the same, with the exception of where it was and what item it was. But both stories was the baby had some like lipstick, and like the baby was playing with stuff, a lipstick or a teddy bear. Like they were different stores. They were playing with stuff and they left, and that's what got them gunned. So it was either a teddy bear, or it was either blush or lipstick, or it It was something like that.
So
So
the
he
baby
had a different
baby as
version of the story.
culprit to get away with whatever they were trying to get away with, but they can't figure out what it was.
Pretty much. But this was also like 10, 12 years ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Martell,
I mean, I just want to know what it meant.
I wanted to ask, what did Martell get his mugshot for? Because I heard it was because him and his uncle were robbing an ATM.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, time out.
The same uncle that was on this season. Yes, that one.
Wait, you said Martell?
Damn. Because I read the article, but then I was like, is it true or not?
Yeah.
Wait, Martell?
Yeah, Martell got a
Martell and his uncle was still in the ATM?
No, they tried to rob the ATM.
They tried, listen, because they tried to crack it open to get the money out of it. Yeah. Yeah. But that came out season 1. So, that wasn't new. The new thing was Kiki's, which was for a DWI, was for driving under influence, but she was like, she had took some medication and didn't think it would kick in as fast. But I think hers is still open. I don't even think hers is like done yet, because it was from like recent.
Oh.
So I don't think hers is like, closed yet. Tisha's was from a while ago, and the judge. So they was like, oh, if she doesn't get in any more trouble, we'll just wipe it off her record. It's like, we'll just let it go if she stays out of trouble, kind of deal. So, and then Maurice's, his was weird too. There was some weird charges.
They wilding out there in Huntsville.
Yeah, his was some weird charges. And then he was saying like, oh, the police was blocking my brother's property, and I tried to get them to move, and they got me for this. And then something else about like a piece of, and then his other charge was something because of like a piece of machinery was like in the wrong place, and he got that and that kind of stuff. So, but they were all kind of a little far back. But I could send you all of it because I got all like I'll just go into the group chat and grab it, and I'll send you that because I got all of their things.
On Marcel's girlfriend's property. Who was trespassing on Marcel's girlfriend's property? Child, ain't he married? Oh, this is back in the day? Child, he was stalking? Okay. So wait, let me get this straight. Martell went to rob the ATM and he has a record, right? Does he have a record? Was it expunged? Is it off there? Is it still there? What's that?
Y'all know? He got a felony. He got a record.
So does this have anything to do with the fact that he can't get his builder license?
No, that's just because he's slow.
Oh, he's just
that's just because he's slow.
I'm not gonna say he's slow. I just don't think he's a good test taker, and he has been able to pass it.
Yes. So what happened was Melody got the builder's license, and you could work under somebody who has a builder's license, and it just worked because they was married. So it didn't make it. He didn't need to go try and retake it because Melody had it. So that's how they had been able to do all of this work in the past. Now, what I will say is, from everything that I've heard and seen, that Martell does very good work. Like, like the stuff that they built and did prior to all of this, like it got really good. Like he does really, really good work. So yeah, maybe he's not slow. Maybe it's just simply he's not a good test taker.
You already said
I'll go with that one.
I'll go with he's not a good test taker because I don't think
that sounds more politically correct.
I don't think he's a good test taker, but when it comes to business, I would say that I think Melody is a little bit more business savvy.
Yeah, I can see that. She was the one running the businesses, right?
Yeah.
So is he working? Is he still working under her or no?
No, they divorced and she severed all business ties with him.
Oh, so what's he doing for money?
I think he does
selling calendars.
Oh,
he's selling calendars. He got a book.
Show, and he's looking for a new business manager because clearly the manager he has now, they set him up with some little.
She got a felony too.
Yeah. Okay. The business manager she has now, she set him up with like a calendar. One of it was a calendar, and then she got him a wine. I don't know if the wine is even like established to sell yet, but they did like something on the show about it. And then they also did a book for the kids.
I heard about the kids book.
Yeah, the book didn't look too hot. I think the kids drew the picture, did they? Or did they not?
Oh, the kids drew the picture. That's cute.
I don't know, but yeah, it was all through. So I think he could do better business choices, but I don't think he has a good business partner. Because I think people said that he would do really well if he sold those little tight suits that he wears. A little bit.
Oh yeah, that probably would be nice because he's a nice looking man and he has a nice build.
Yeah, he has nice suits. Sometimes they're too tight though. He has.
So he got
y'all, listen, y'all know what Arionne was. Listen, okay, so remember when they did the thing and where did they go see New Edition? Is that where they went to go see?
Yeah, it was one of those concerts, and she was.
Yeah, so they went to go see New Edition together, like a couple months back. This was like their first public outing that they posted online with the two of them being together after 7 years. Woohoo! So in that thing, she talked about Martell's wine and drinking Martell's wine and everything, how Martell's wine is and everything else. Mm-hmm. And so I went because I like wine. So I went on his little website to try and order some of the wine, and it only gave you the option, like, put your information in to get notification when the wine becomes available. So I'm going to get some listen, once it's available, I'm going to get some. I'm going to say this. That's what I'm talking about. He needs a new business. My people, listen, I don't know anybody in Huntsville, but my grandparents is in Mobile, Alabama. So I can, if it's just in Alabama, somebody will buy me the wine and send it to. I'm gonna taste this because if it had it acting like Arionne was acting online, she was 2 sheets to the wind. So if she was that far gone off this wine, I'm gonna need to try this wine.
If that's the case, I want some too.
I need this wine. I was like, y'all playing. I was like, I need to feel that nice. Well, I ain't got that many emotional issues, so I need to feel that nice because I go to therapy. But
sucking that wine that night when she's on the line.
I don't think my husband ready for that one. That nice. Wow. Okay, so being as though Martell gets, like, I guess the rep that he has for the things that he's done, so no one really cares or see it for him like that. Do y'all think that no matter what do y'all really feel like his business will do fine, even though like the backlash and stuff that he gets?
I think he just needs a different business strategy, a different rollout, because he can sell something, and I just think he doesn't. They haven't picked the right thing for him to sell. They just haven't. I don't think wine is a good idea. I don't think he should sell a calendar because everybody's mad at him.
Everybody wants to see his sexiness after be cheating on his wife.
Yeah, majority of the audience that watches Married with Huntsville is women, so I would think he needs to figure something out like, that would
cater to the women.
Yeah, something that the women would.
Listen, he already started catering to the women. His reason he got her. Maybe
the thing about it is with Martell, I think they haven't figured out what they could sell through him. But
bed sheets. He sell bed sheets.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Seems like a good roll in the hay. But no, you know what? I think he needs to get his. No, listen. Cheaters got to stick together. Make it happen. Anyways, what I think is, because all the things that we've heard about Martell and his ability to build has been really, really well. He needs to get back into what he does well. And because technically, do you really care who's building your house? If they do good quality work, do you really, you don't care about their personal life, right?
So, but I heard a lot of people didn't want to work with him after they found out what happened between him and Mel.
Correct. Crazy.
Because he's the same way we seen Arionne spiral last week. He was spiraling. He spiraled. He had his own. Yeah, his own spiraling thing that just wasn't cute. So he did some of that to himself. Okay. But I think that because a lot of times, because if you get somebody with so if he worked under someone else who had a builder's license, that builder would be the person who worked with the people directly. Mm-hmm. You don't always know every contractor that work on something. I mean, he could have just, been a part of the team. But from what I heard, he does really, really good work. So I don't want to knock that piece of his life because that's what he said worked really, really well. Because, that's Marceau's business that he has now. That used to be the two of them. It was that's what Sculpt is. So it's Scott and Holt together.
Okay, so why he can't go work with Marceau?
Because he sold his portion of the business to Tisha.
And
he needed.
Every time Martell gets mad, he's always threatening to snitch on Marcel. So I don't think he wants to work with her.
Oh, so he does. They the business we can't do.
Yeah, because when he gets mad, he always brings up, "You had 100 women," and it's just he's a mess.
You know what the sad part is? I think because Martell actually knows enough at AT that as much as they wouldn't want to work with him, they would still work with him. Because I think he knows things that are damning enough to implode their lives. So they kind of are stuck with him. So everybody was like, dang, that seems so weird that Maurice is like sticking up for Martell. But I'm like, I bet you it's to the point where when they was all cool, they was doing their dirt together. So you can't tell me that Martell doesn't have, and Martell has already lost everything. So who there is nobody worse than somebody who has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. So it's like, I mean, despite what we want to say about Maurice, he technically is a lawyer. He may not be a good one, but he is one, right?
Right.
Marcel got his.
I feel like is that why I feel like Martell is really trying to bring everybody else down with him.
When he gets upset, he does have that. I'm going to take everybody with me.
Yeah, I see that a lot. It seems like he's always trying to shift the blame as if like I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. It's not just me. They're not perfect. Like no. You got to see them too. Like he gives me that attitude.
And that's why a lot of people have kind of stayed away from him when he's in his little fits, because he tends to try to throw everyone under the bus. Even though it's really his fault. Like no one asked you to like keep sleeping with a woman and make a baby. You gotta like take accountability.
I'm gonna say this right here. I was like, once you seen the camera started filming again, that should have been your cue to be like, you know what? She already forgave me for this. We moved on. I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna cut my losses. I'm gonna move forward. But you kept doing it for whatever reasons you may be.
She was ever gonna leave.
He didn't think she was ever gonna leave,
or already.
Yes, and that was the thing. Like because she took him back, and it sounds like from what everybody says, Martell is he's a very good talker. Like he's good at being able to get people to agree with. He's a good slick talker. Yeah, he got so it sounds like he makes you believe what he's telling you, because then that makes sense why Mel stayed, why Arionne continued to stay, because they were like, you don't know what he tells me, you don't know what he does. Like, oh, he told me that he didn't say that. Because when Arionne got alive and said, oh, he called me 15 da 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 da, I asked him and he said he didn't even say nothing like that. And I'm like,
we saw it,
girl, like you literally seen Delicious said, oh, you told me such and such, and he was like, oh, you being a producer now. Well, yeah, I did say that. Like it was one of those things where I think he didn't expect it to come out because he told it to Delicious in private, right? She then said it on the panel. They then talked about it, discussed it. He admitted to it, went on, and elaborated on it and said it. But he told her, I never said that. And she believed it. So I was like, he has to be good at making people believe. I don't know how he does it, but he clearly, and I don't want to learn.
Before all of this had came out about Martell, when he was like kind of like the first season, I did look at him like he was handsome. You know what I'm saying? So I could see how Melanie could just get wrapped up in his words versus his actions, because he could have that little smile and, oh, I'm sorry, and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, his actions showed the opposite. And the more like you saw him on television, he became unattractive. But when I initially saw him, I thought, oh, he's cute. I used to think they were the cute couple.
I still think he's handsome. And but I'm not as invested in watching the show as much as you guys, so I can't get across the ugly to still ain't hit me yet. But
no, the more you're listening to him, the more you be like, because a lot of people like, I think he's ugly. I'm like, I think because we're all used to him. Because when I first saw the show, I always thought that he was the most attractive male. And then I would think maybe Maurice, and then I didn't think Marcel was cute at all. But at the end of the day, the more he started talking and the more he started showing himself, it was like he just started getting uglier and uglier as he went.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Ooh, child, y'all done caught me up on so much of this daggone Love and Marriage Huntsville. I feel like I'm watching a soap opera, everything between the mug shots, the people talking about kids and the infidelity and the backstabbing of it. It's a lot. It's a lie. How y'all deal with this every week?
It takes a lot. It takes a lot to come. It comes in and you be like, what did I just watch? What the hell?
And you know what the crazy thing is? This show has been off for what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
But we're still actively talking about, because everything they do spills out into social media.
Arionne brought it all back.
It always spills out into social media. Because even like Melody posting that, you know, she had a chef and he made her something to eat and this, that, and the third. Or their son posting the video of them all together, right?
Yeah.
Kind of deal. So, you know, they're everything spills out onto social media. And now Wanda's back on social media, so it's just a matter of time before she go down her tirades again. So it's one of those things where it's like, because they are like actively in social media and they use it actively, it then turns into you feel like you can never escape this show. Like, so once you get in, honey, you in. So you're gonna be just like the rest of us. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, why are they live? Oh my god,
well, all the time.
Yeah, they're fighting that everyone talking that weekend. Like, what the hell's going on? Oh my god, they're fighting online.
I know. Every time I go online, every time I go on YouTube, for one, every time giving you the realty pop up, I always see something about this daggone Arionne. I say, what she done did now? And then I just be like, then they all start lining up all of you. I said, this show, I need to figure out what's going on this show, which is why we here now talking. But I do feel like I don't know if I can handle the Love and Marriage Huntsville fans. I don't know if I can handle y'all.
Yeah, they're in the foot in the sand. I'm kind of like, I twerk on the fence because at the end of the day, I do. I got that from Kim Pryor. I twerk on the fence because I don't really have a loyalty to Melody or Martell or any of those people. I kind of am a little bit more like, okay, I get it, but like to a certain extent, you can get wrapped up in the rapture. People can go on and on about hating that girl Arionne. They really hate her, especially the wives.
And so because people hate Arionne, is that why they love Mel, or is Mel just lovable?
No.
Really, absolutely.
Outside of the situation, Mel can be a little too much as well. But people felt sympathy because of it just being so public. Like, right. And then him just being not accountable. Mm-hmm. Made people side with Mel more. But Arionne, she did add to people hating Martell more. Not necessarily. Like, I mean, people who like Mel, they just love her. It doesn't matter what you say or do. Yeah. I'm on the fence with Mel. I'm okay with that. But I still,
you know what?
Off of what happened.
It's one of the things. It went like people disliked Martell, Arionne, then Melody, then Tisha. Oh wait, I forgot. I have to add Miss Wanda into this equation. Never mind. Melody. Look, and so it went Martell, Arionne, Wanda, then Melody, Tisha, then Kimmy. Is kind of how the pecking order of not liking people, or who has the bigger, group of people that do not like them. Yeah. It is because Martell is not very active on social media. It's like he only gets his dislike when the show is airing, right? Because he doesn't post that much. He does not post very much online. So his only really comes when the season is going. Everyone else posts online, so theirs kind of continuously runs. And then Maurice is smart because he only really posts with Kimmy because people tend to like Kimmy. So it's like his shield or coverage.
Yes, that's true. To be told, I don't like what happened to Mel, but I don't particularly care for Mel outside of that situation. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't like. I did at one point. I liked Martell. I just don't like him anymore now. I don't care for Arionne because she's not on the show, but she's just a mess online. Kimmy's like my somewhat favorite at one point, But I don't really have like a favorite now because the show is so messy. Every other week, somebody's under the hot plate.
Oh, okay. So I see what I'm gonna have to do with this. I know how this is gonna have to go down with Love and Marriage Huntsville for me. Clicks and views. You said you in the wrong chat. What happened? What y'all say to clicks and views? I see how this is gonna have to go because I'm not about to fight with y'all. I figured it out, and we'll see in September how it's gonna work out. So
just read them all. Look, just read them all and be even. Just like
in the
I don't like
beginning,
any.
I was Team Melody like the first season. I did not like Tisha because
Really?
Tisha was constantly like digging at Melody, and at the same time, she secretly wanted to be Melody. First, she was like, "I'm a good housewife. I'm a good housewife," and then Mel, like, girl, you should get out there and get your business started. You can do both. And then she'd be like, "Oh no, Mel can't teach me anything. She can't even keep her husband in line." And I'm like, "But you want to be Mel?" Like she started doing this podcast because Mel had a podcast. She started getting her business license up so she can start doing real estate. And I'm like, this is all things Melanie does, but then you're like hating on her because her husband's like a little shifty. I like Tisha at first. And then Mel, like I used to like Mel, but then like I think after this season when she came back and dogged out Stormy, and then she also dogged out Destiny.
What's up?
Like, I'm not feeling Mel right now.
Wait. What's up? So what's up with Stormy? Because, like I said, I don't know all these people. So when y'all bring up people that I've heard, I'm just curious as to what's the storyline behind them. What's the storyline with Stormy? Because I did see. Is that the one that was in the booth singing?
And that's Destiny.
That's child. Who the heck is that? There's too many people. Okay, Stormy real quick, and then Destiny. What's up with Stormy?
Stormy just came onto the show, but it seems like Stormy has kind of faded away. Every time Mel has like an issue with one of the ladies, she brings on a cast member to kind of throw darts at the ladies.
Okay.
Which is okay because Tisha does it with her mother, so we get it. But I think I didn't like the way was it Destiny and her fell out because Destiny had gone through a divorce, and Melanie, because she was going through a divorce herself, was not necessarily.
Wait, when did she dog out Stormy? Melody dogged out Stormy. When did she do that?
Melody and Stormy not on the same page anymore. If you go online, I think Stormy's like hanging out with Destiny and stuff now, which is weird because they were fighting online on the show.
I mean,
I think Melody has expirations to her friendships. She can be cool with you, and then she gets done with you, and she moves on.
You know what? I will say this about Melody. In Melody's mind, they are all castmates. They are not friends. So if they're not filming, they are not like hanging out like that.
Oh,
like Melody literally treats this show as a job, but I can understand how she treats it like a job, because when you take a step back and you say, well, the men knew that Martell was cheating, so if you pillow talked with your wife as much as y'all do about everything else, they had to know something. And I was blindsided by this. And I don't fool with none of y'all like that anymore. So I can understand why Melody treats it like we're castmates, we're not friends, and we don't hang out outside of the show. Where the other people in the cast, they do hang out outside of the show. So it could definitely be seen as, oh, we're all friends, but we're not friends with her because she doesn't hang out with us when the show is not filming.
Yeah.
So there's that thing. But there's definitely like Melody and Stormy. Like Stormy just did a live and she was talking about it. She was like, she don't have no problems with Mel. They're fine. They have some business thing going on together because Mel does is in one of the ads for her hair care stuff.
Okay, that sounds good.
Hold on 1 second. Thanks, Brie, for the super chat. She said Mel and Stormy are still cool. Stormy just said it. Mel has never dogged out Stormy. Okay, so thanks for the super chat. I don't really know, and so I'm just listening to what everybody got to say.
Yeah, I just feel like Mel could be she's a little selfish in her friendships. That's all I'm gonna say. Not to say she's mean. I just don't particularly care how she deals with, and she's done with the friendship. I don't like how she deals with it. But that's what I said. Like, I don't hate Melody because I was Team Melody in the beginning. I didn't like Tisha at all because I felt like Tisha was always trying to be like a mini Mel, but at the same time, like reading her for her relationship issues.
So the situation that happened with Destiny and Mel. Okay, let me see if I got this right from based on I think I saw like an episode and a half. Okay, so they were sitting at a dinner. They were sitting at lunch, and Mel said that she overheard Destiny talking about her from the reunion, and now she don't want to be her friend no more because she was talking about her. I don't know what exactly.
When you go through divorce, your friends have to, people go with one side of the couple. So Destiny was actually Martell's friend, and she tried to play neutral, which there is no neutral in these situations. Either you with me or you're against me. And Melody decided to cut her off, but she used the example of them being at the reunion as to the reason why, because Destiny was talking with Tisha about Melody and her friendship, and she overheard them, and therefore that's what she was like, I'm done with Destiny.
Oh, okay.
Because like the ops are the Scots. The Scots do not like Melanie. Let's be real. And,
they the ops.
Yeah, they are the ops. They're her oppositions. And like even though they have like times of like peace, they don't like each other. They don't.
Child.
So Destiny kind of like shifted towards the Scott side, I guess, to stay on the TV screen. And Melody acted accordingly, but I just didn't like the way that ended. I wanted them to stay friends.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so I feel like I got a summary. I think y'all pretty much I thank y'all so much for catching me up because yeah, I think I did a pretty good job of like giving me the different dynamics between everyone, the things that happen and stuff like that.
Melody. I'm sorry. Her name is Melody, not Melanie. Keep going on. Like, stop calling her Melanie.
It's Melody. Oh, I forgot. Wait, there's Tiffany and Lewis, but they give absolutely nothing.
They're not.
So don't even worry.
Are they?
Ignore them.
But who are
exactly.
They? Oh, okay.
They're like
they fill
a newer couple that they're filling. They're did you watch Love and Marriage Huntsville DC?
Love and Marriage DC, yeah.
Yeah. See, you know that couple that kind of show up but don't really do much, and then you see them but they don't talk, and you know that couple, that's them for that show. Like that's them. So technically they're there. Yes. So they're there but they're not. Exactly. So they're there but they're not there. So they don't really matter.
They don't matter.
But what I will tell you is there is a rumor that Jalen, which is Kimmy's son, and Destiny was messing around.
That's just nasty. But go ahead.
Why is Kimmy's son and Destiny's son messing around? Why is that nasty? Are they related?
No. Kimmy's son Jalen is 20. He's in his 20s, 22, 23. Destiny got her divorce from the chicken man, and the rumor is that they're sleeping together.
That's a grown woman. Gross.
How old is Destiny?
Like 36, 37, right?
The son is how old?
22, 23.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like, one of your friends sleeping with one of your kids, because that's really what it is. So
that is what it basically
that's really what it is. And that rumor started because they was on TikTok and like she had his necklace on and they was like flirting and she had already said that he could get it. And it was just weird. So I don't know if it's actual and true and something that happened, or if Destiny is looking for her next storyline to stay on the show. I don't
want that to be my storyline.
Well, she was married and got divorced and nobody knew. So I mean, she ain't got much.
Who Mel supposed to have gave her money for the light bill, right?
Yep, that one. So I mean, she ain't really got much of a storyline now. So I guess that is better. there are some people who it sounds like you need a real good hitting storyline, or you're not coming back on the show, and she needs money. Is really the feeling like.
Yeah,
I'm
get you.
kidding. You know, like,
yeah,
it sounds salacious.
Yeah, because she's supposed to have lost everything, right? I heard the rumor is with Destiny is that she's the one who cheated on her husband. Is that the rumor, or did I hear that wrong?
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that she was the reason why he left.
Yeah, I heard that. See, this is the thing. One thing about Love and Marriage Huntsville Child, the rumors is out here, and I don't even got to watch the show to be hearing stuff. But I was like, oh, she's supposed to have did what now?
Yeah, did you know that's why he did what he did? He got custody of the child immediately after the like she had the baby. It was like some cutthroat stuff. He came like when she just like the baby wasn't even like a month old.
Yeah, because we thought that it was because she wouldn't take his last name, right?
Yeah.
But then going that it was because she didn't, because she's supposed to have cheated. Child, I don't know.
Listen, that was so, and that's the thing with Destiny. All of the stuff is like it doesn't come to the show. It doesn't make it. So it's like, why are you here when there's all these things being talked about, but none of them actually make it to the show? And it's all this speculation and rumor and all these things with you, but there's nothing else to it. Because people was like, oh, Destiny used to sleep with Martell, and it was like,
oh, there's somebody just wrote that. I think she messed with Martell
from when like, you know, like the high school, college days, like, you know, back then.
So wait, Lena, you mean you think she messed with like current or used to past tense, like back in high school days? Her new man's a felon, so so they say. Ciao.
Okay, so Destiny has been on social media posting with a guy, but like not showing his face, kind of deal. Like she's been doing that kind of thing. But then Jalen on his TikTok has been doing something completely different, which is where and then Destiny has said how Jalen could get it, and then Jalen said he's a cougar tamer. So there's.
But it makes sense if Jalen's doing that because he's young and his nose is open. And for her, she's trying to keep things hush hush. If you think about it, and it'd be like him, his nose open. He won't tell the world because like it'll look good for him. I don't know if any of this is true. I'm just trying to make sense of it.
Hold on now, Leia is putting some serious stuff in the chat. She said,
"She messed with you gonna come up because I've been putting the link."
Melody was pregnant with Sugar Mama.
Child, the link is in the chat. Anyone can come
is
up.
that one for? Is that one for
pregnant with Sugar, my child?
Is that one for Coleslaw or is that one for Destiny?
She said
because you know Coleslaw been pregnant. She was pregnant a couple times before, so they would have had a baby
at the same time as
they was pregnant at the same time. They would have had a pregnant. So the way the math would have worked, they would have had because their oldest, Mel and Martell's oldest kid together is. So right after Tank, which is the boy, so there would have been a baby in between there for them two, and then a baby right before Sugar Mama. So it would have been a baby there, but then Mel would have had another baby after Sugar Mama, but she didn't have that one. So it was a lot of real overlapping babies in a very short window of time.
Well,
for all of them.
Destiny didn't mess with Martell because if she did, that's kind of effed up.
I mean, Destiny is. I mean, Martell seemed to be fertile. I mean,
no, they didn't say that she was pregnant by him. She just said that she used to mess. That she think they messed around with each other, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not the same as like getting pregnant. Like I don't think that would be the case.
But so the original story that I heard, but it was also on Facebook. So there's nothing else outside of these people on Facebook that they messed around in like high school, college before he met Mel.
Oh wait, they say yes. Destiny also during Mel and Martell's divorce. That Dusty was going back to Martell, telling him everything Mel may have said about him in confidence. Oh.
Yeah. So that there was a lot of messy overlap.
So that's why the rumor is that she probably messed with him because it just seems like the thing.
I mean, because it's
I
not
think
uncommon
everyone
for
thinks
somebody to go
Martell.
back to their old, person they used to sleep with. So it's not unheard of to go back. If we slept together in like
it's a
high
known
school,
thing that
college.
they used to sleep together?
I didn't know that.
So Destiny did. Okay, so the thing went on Facebook saying that Destiny and Martell had slept together like high school, college, like when they knew each other before, like he got with Melody.
Okay.
Destiny went on her Instagram and she was like, where did y'all hear that? No, it didn't happen. And then started laughing. So she said, no, it didn't happen, and started to laugh. And people was like, bull of the shit. But okay, girl. So that's where it like
came from.
That's where it came from. So she said no, but then she laughed. And then while Mel and Martell was getting a divorce, she was, seeming to go back and tell Martell everything. And there was this kind of odd thing. So there was like, oh, well, maybe he's doing this. So that is all alleged. There was I didn't find anything like tangible on that outside of they asked her on her live. She said no and laughed. So I don't know if the laugh was because it was like
crazy to hear, like
crazy to hear, or they really be looking, like that uncomfortable laugh. So it's like, I don't know. So I don't know, but that was so that's where that story is stemming from. But she said no, so.
I don't believe that.
Wow, child. What's this Facebook group so I can join?
Girl, here I got like 3 or 4. I'll send it. Listen. When I tell you
wants to leave Huntsville because everybody all in their business.
Girl, they need to get out of here. Huntsville's too small, apparently.
Yeah, everybody knows everybody's business.
I done been up here. Well, how long we been up here? But I feel like how long we been up here? Child, I done learned so much about this whole show. I done found out who was messing with who, the rumors that no one heard of, rumors that people did. It's a whole lot going on out here. Who child? But we've been up here for a long time because we started at 4:45 and it's now 6:52. Sheesh. But is there anything that I'm missing? Did we miss anything? Skip anything that I'm missing? Because I need to feel like I'm caught up. Nothing that we didn't cover.
No, I think you got all of it.
Yeah, you got all of it. I think at this point, just don't get caught up in the rapture of teams. Just kind of don't be team Mel G. Just be team Huntsville. Watch the show.
I'm gonna be team. Y'all could be the teams.
Team. Like I told you, I like certain parts of the characters, certain parts I don't. I can do it out.
I'm gonna have to take a nap. I'm gonna have to take a drink. I tell him to drink all his wine. Child, look, I need some of that wine because I heard that's get you lit, get you real lit. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me today. Down. Thank you. All right, y'all. Listen. I don't know why my camera looks so blurry. What's happening? But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me. Thank y'all for catching me up in this love and marriage Huntsville world, okay? Because I've been exposed to it and now I feel like I'm slowly getting dragged into it. But I don't think I will actually review the show. I think what I will do is watch the show, give a little commentary, and then maybe have call-ins where you guys can come in and give your opinions so everyone has a fair shot of team whoever or feel however they want to do it. But y'all know I'm gonna have to check it out and get into it and see what the fuss is all about. But I appreciate you all for joining me tonight. Don't forget to like this video. Comment down below. If you're part of the playback game, leave me a yellow heart. Let me know you stopped by and subscribe. And I'm going to talk to you guys later. If you did not check out my Married at First Sight review, go ahead. That's already posted. Go check it out. And then I'll come talk to you guys later. Bye. Right, Layla. I'm team wife. All right. I'm out of here. Bye.